Okay, let's look at our last tool. I got a little winded with um, the quick selection tool and the object selection tool. So I'm going to use the magic wand for this last one. So it's just going to be specifically a magic wand. It's under the object selection tool. Let's click on it. Magic wand has been around for quite some time, almost as long as the lasso tool. And what the magic wand is, it's quite unique. It's very specific and quite unique. And there's a lot of things that you want to adjust, or in my opinion, you want to adjust so it looks good when you make your selections. Now, with what happens is we're going to look up top. I have, again, my 4 squares like all my other selection tools, except for the quick selection tool. We have our new selection, add, subtract, and of course, intersect. I'm going to go with add because I'm going to start selecting around this gentleman's face, okay? And actually, no, I'm going to select his face, so I'm going to show you how specific this can be. Okay. Notice his face has a lot of values. We have a highlight, we have midtones, and we have a low light. Now, I would like to select his whole face, but we're going to figure out how to do that. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at our sample size. Now, our sample size, we can go down to the actual point or the pixel sample. Wherever I click, it picks up that pixel. And what's going to do, it's going to recognize that same color and select the same color. Well, of course, the larger I get, if I go 3 by 3, it selects 9 pixels, and it then kind of makes a small group, and it will select those what like kind of represents those 9. And then, of course, 5, 11. The larger the selection average is, the more it's going to select, the more inclusive it's going to be. I'm just going to go 3 by 3 right now, and you're going to see that I'm going to select right here on this highlight. Just do it really quick and click once. Notice it's very small, it's very selective. There are other highlights here that look kind of the same, but the computer's picking up that 3 by 3 and it wants to just stay very specific and pick that up. Let me deselect that. There are things we can do to change that. And the first one is, of course, we can change our sample size. So if I go to 5 by 5, I click it, same spot, it gets a little bit bigger. Not much, but a little bit bigger. But let's go Control Z, let's go to our 3 by 3, which I like, it's my preference. We're going to look at our tolerance. Okay, our towns are going to be crucial. Now, think of a tolerance as a town or the population of a town. The lower the number, the more exclusive. It's gonna be very, very specific. There's going to be a very few people, so when you click on something, it's going to keep it very small. The higher the number I go, the more inclusive it's going to be, and the town's going to say, "Come on in, you're all welcome," and that's what we do. So that's how I do it. The population of a town. The lower the number, it's going to be much smaller, the selection. The higher the number, the greater the selection. So I was working with 20. It usually defaults at 32 if I recollect correctly. But let's go and change that to 40. We went from 40 or 20 to 40, and let's click that same spot. Notice a much larger spot. Try this at 60. And you're going to get this after I do this next one. Same spot, notice bigger. And that's what we want to do. We want to see how it works. Now, I have it as plus, so I can select over here, select another set of 3 by 3s, and notice it's selecting more things. It got really aggressive there, and I'm okay with that. If I come here, same thing. It's getting aggressive. I'm picking up more midtones than I am the highlight. So that's how this works. I can come here, click this, and notice they could be 2 different shapes. Even though I'm adding, it's still the same. Come here, let's come down here, let's click here on this chin, and notice it's much bigger, but it's engulfing everything. And that's one of the cool things is. So that's how you use the magic wand. Now there's a couple more things I would like you to look at. Let's come back a little bit more. We have our second one here. We've talked about this with some of the other tools when we're using our other selection tools. We want to smooth edges. So the transition from one edge to the another edge, you want to make sure that, especially the magic wand, because it's literally picking up pixels, it'll be jagged. We don't want that. We want to smooth it out. So we're going to definitely click on this button, make sure this button's done. Okay. And then over here, we have another one. And as you're going to see, it's going to smooth out. Go ahead. I'm going to hover over it one more time. It's going to smooth out, I believe, between your selections. So it's about the sample. Sorry about this. It keeps going over and over again. Oh, goodness gracious. Sample only continuous pixels. So that's what we want to do when we're sampling. We're trying to find that. If I take it off, let's see what it looks like. Much more. This makes it more specific. Oh, actually, forget it. I'm at 60. Let's go back to 20. Let's do what we did before. Come back here. Boom. Yes, notice this makes a big difference. So what's happening is They're talking about contiguous, okay? Which means they're going to continue on and beyond everything that has that same sample size. So when I clicked it on, it was only specific to this area. Notice how that is. When I click that off, it's going to look around the whole picture and find similar to that color and select all those there. Notice this color here is similar to this highlight here, has the same characteristics color-wise of that 3x3. So that is very crucial what you want to do. So remember, that's how it works too. Okay, so that's the Magic Wand tool. Again, I can subtract, add, do whatever I want, but remember, it's very specific, pixel specific, so be very careful with this one. It's still a very good tool. I usually use this tool like I would use it to select the background here. I'd come back here and trying to select what he has. Again, I want to put this on here. We don't want the contiguous, so I want to just kind of select the outside. And notice it does a pretty good job selecting the outside where I can get rid of the background for him, put him in someplace else or whatever I need to do. So there's the Magic Wand tool. Hope that helps.